Hello friends, today we are going to read about the agriculture topic that comes in under geography, and it's very important for all of our exams, especially for the mains also. So let us read, okay? So, features of Indian agriculture is that mainly in our arena, in our geography, we say that it is mainly rain fed. So, it is rain fed. Then net sown area we find in India is around 150 million hectares, and that comes out to be gross total, that is 1.14. Now, if we find an MCQ about the sequence of the net sown area. So we find that in Punjab we are having 98% of the net sown area. Second comes Haryana, third comes UP, fourth comes Andhra Pradesh. Now, then we find that if we say in some areas there is a very difficult zone where water is not available, especially in the Brahmaputra region, where we find different kinds of hilly areas, and so that is extension of Himalayas also seen here. So there is we there's less agriculture. That is Sikkim, Mizoram, Assam areas. There it is very difficult to bore water. Okay. Now next comes about our efficiency of irrigation. So efficiency of irrigation, canal irrigation system in India is around 38%. That is approximately 38% means quite high, and means 38% is utilized. Okay. Now if we find that in most of the areas how the canal system works. So here's a diagram which represents a tank where different outlets are given here over here. So this represent a particular area or a village, and here also. So a storage tank is made in a certain area where water is get stored, and here we can also more utilize it by providing floating solar plants over here, and that is quite more effective that for utilizing the maximum output. Okay. So storage water tank is here where their out water comes and distributed to different outlets. Now provide cooling effect to the solar plant. If we find that efficiency of irrigation, if we want to utilize it more, then to provide cooling effect the solar panels are quite efficient over there. But the thing comes is that they require large land. So although India lacks land availability, so it is not so much uh, output is not there. Okay. Now then there is a diagram where we see that canal is centralized, can irrigate thousands of fields. So if canal is centralized, then we can easily distribute large area. So distributed related जो issues हैं वो भी इसमें highlight किए गए हैं. Now the system is known as Varabandi, Barabandi or rotational irrigation. So what we say is it is very difficult to focus or distribute by this system too, because here we can see that there equally distributed and close fields, there we have to adopt a rotational irrigation system. So if we find a fact over there, that is groundwater table that is falling at the rate of 30 centimeter per year. So per year we are getting 30 centimeter low level of groundwater. Now tube is easy to use but leads to groundwater fall. So there is an example of Sangrur, where 24-meter water has been fallen till now, that is quite uh, considerable. Then, features of Indian agriculture. If we find that a question comes where we have to highlight the different features, so we find that in India, the agriculture is mainly rain fed, where most of the farmers do not have access to the irrigation and are dependent on monsoon. So, we find a different special point, that is rain fed agriculture in India. Okay. Now, so it is often said that Indian agriculture is gamble at the hands of monsoon. So we can easily say that it is a gamble. Now, more than 60% of the farm fields in India are rain fed, and irrigation systems are available only 53% of the total agriculture. So we find that more than 60% of the farm holdings in India are rain fed, and irrigation systems are 53% of the total agriculture. That is uh, quite less. So only few states like Punjab, Haryana, UP have been successful in creating irrigation infrastructure. But even in these states, there are concerns related to low water use efficiency and groundwater depletion. So up to now, the three states have been successful in creating an irrigation infrastructure. But even in these states, there are certain concerns like groundwater depletion and efficiency use. Okay. Now, non-mechanized is another point where we see that use of machine is less in India, and most common machine is 20 to per thousand hectare, and low machine penetration in India is because of the marginal farmer, yeah, small farmers. Because if we want to use a mechanized system, there should have been a more field area, because that needs more investment. Okay. Now, there is a scheme, there's a fact that Sampada scheme is related to fisheries. If we somewhere find a fact and we find that it is related to fisheries. Now, eucalyptus is a medicine and solve problem of water logging. That is a fact. Okay. Now, in 2070 to 71, this is an era where we find, and this is an era. So earlier we find that a farmer has a large area, that is 2 hectare. Now they have quite more sons, or with the progress of their family, that is equally divided, and that comes out to be 1 hectare. Now, this is a because of the population increase. So land area under cultivation decrease. So this is why we are not able to mechanize our agriculture. Now, there's also a fact that USA is nearly 150 hectare, and Canada we have 300 hectare collective farming. That is successful there. Okay, so there can be a mechanized system easily we can find. Now, collective farming in India is not successful, and Japan machines are made even for small farmers, while in India machines for marginal small farmers are not designed. एक जो है fact ये भी है कि we are not having such a techniques for small farmers also. Now, A, B, C, D, these are the lands, and then we find that if we treat a land as a single piece, large size of produce, greater is bargaining power for farmers. So this can be a solution, for we can say this can be a solution, that if large number of farmers get uh, connected and collected and in a mass, we can easily find large size of production, and we can make them good in bargaining power. Okay, so this can be a solution for our Indian. So if we are asked about the in a question that what will be the solutions which you will highlight, or what you will prescribe for the good farming practices in India, so this can be the easily and good example for that we can do, collect them, and then we can mechanize that system. Now, there's a land reform And in land reform we have find that abolition of zamindars has been done, and tenancy reforms later on lead to ownership rights. We now farmers have been given the ownership rights. Reduction of rent has been reduced. Security of tenureship, security is ensured by the law. And when we find that development of agriculture, land reforms, and land sealing has been done. So this is the uh, progress which we have achieved during years. Now, collective farming is a agriculture cooperative, uh, is an example. Self-help groups is an example. Food production organization and production corporations are the example. Bank can give loans if those farmers join self-help groups. So these are the uh, initiatives which government is working on. Okay. Now cooperatives, new ministry formed, as government says, state government interfere with cooperatives. UP and private sugar mill losses of state interference. So these are the examples and facts which we can highlight. No recorded lease. Many farmers in India are tenant farmers. So oral agreement. So no security, no loan by government. This is the negative. Uh, if we are giving some examples about criticizing, so we can highlight these things because at ground level they are not sufficient enough. Now, this comes this last page, and then we are going to wind up this topic. That is paddy in Punjab. First, second is Haryana, and Punjab we have Tarai and UK. Okay, so common machines can be used. So in these areas we can find where this common crop is used, we can find a good solution of using common machines. Then custom hiring centers, shop where machines are kept and provided to farmers. So we can have some custom hiring centers where we can provide them machines when they're not they required, when they are not in use. Okay, so should be should we introduce machines or should we don't introduce the machines? This is a question which comes to our mind. Okay, then we find that 60% more than 65 years, 20% less than 15 years, 20% 15 to 64, younger ones have to earn for old age and hospitals, facilities, and pension, also longevity. So we find that if in our country we have these 60%, 20%, and these kind of age groups. So here we can highlight that younger ones have to produce and work more so that we can give pensions or we can give tax so that our longevity can grow. Okay, then seasonal employment is our one of the issue. Underemployment is another issue. Disguised employment is another issue. Seasonal employment says that we in agriculture we find that a specific season we are working, but rest of the time where crop is already been sown and is in growing stage, then this labor is not working. So it we can find it that it is a seasonal employment. Then underemployment, we find that most of the time the eligible candidates are not working in a required format. Then we can find that disguised employment, that is more than one people are engaged in a single employment there, where we find that it is effective but it's not effective as a whole. Then comes is these are the agriculture problems. Then comes is manufacturing sector can absorb. If we highlight some manufacturing work also, if we are engaging the people, then it will be good because it can be absorbing skilled labor, semi skilled labor, and unskilled labor. So we must focus on decentralization of manufacturing sector. So we should focus on the manufacturing sector so that our underemployment, disguised employment, and seasonal employment problems could be solved. So this was one topic today about agriculture. uh, Later we will cover the next topics also. Please like and subscribe if you like it, and thank you for joining us. Bye bye.